Good morning, everybody. It's Michael here from Michael's Card Art. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I've got a little project for you today that uses a number of stamps and dies, or from various different sets. But the other day I posted this project that I made. It's a very, very simple project. It's from it's using the Flight and Airy Designer Series paper, and how it works is you basically just opens up and it reveals a little planter box full of plants, flowers, and that's hidden away by the birthday sentiment that sits underneath it. This here looks like it sits within that. You open it up and there it is. Look, I think it's such a sweet Designer Series paper pattern that there's a gazillion ideas that you could think of for using this paper. And like the paper that we're going to use today on today's project, and this paper, I've never chopped into Designer Series paper like I have with these two ever before. And I really do use a lot of Designer Series paper. However, so if you can get your hands on that, either sets of paper, I think you'll do yourself well. Now, the sets that we're going to use today are from the mini catalogue, and we're going to be using the Notes of Nature bundle and also the Lovely and Sweet bundle. Beautiful, beautiful stamps and dies. And the star of today's show is not just the stamps and dies, but is the Designer Series paper called Nature's Sweetness. And you can see here there's some beautiful pieces of paper. I'm not even going to go through and show you them all, but look, there's gold, there's greys, there's lovely coppers. It's just a really nice set of paper. So let's get started and I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to use the same design that we did on this card, but we're going to use that new Designer Series paper. Now, I've got here the dimensions for you. Take a screenshot of that, and all of this will become obvious once we move through it. But I've called it a Z fold with a planter. The base card is 10 centimeters by 22 centimeters. This is what I'm calling the base card. Okay, so that's the base card. It's scored at 10 centimeters and 15 centimeters. We've got additional card stock and I have got the additional card stock here for you, but these additional card pieces will sit at the back of this, one, and at the back of this one. Now those additional pieces, the A one is 10 centimeters by 7, and the second one is 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. I can't see where I've put them at the moment, but this is where they're going to be placed. There's going to be one here, that's the A piece at 10 and 7, and this is the B piece at 10 and 10. You're also going to have your planter. Now, the planter, this is what I'm calling the planter, and in context, it's this little item in here. So the planter is around 2.5 centimeters by 13.7 centimeters. It's scored, if you like, it's scored at 2.5, 6.5, and at 9 centimeters. And then you've got these inserts. Now these little inserts help give you the dense planting, but they look exactly like this. You need 2 of these, and these are 5.1 centimeters by 1.8 centimeters. All right, and you're going to score each end at 0.7 centimeters, and that just allows you to insert them into the planter, and they'll sit there like thus. Okay, now as you build this up, I'm recommending you do not seal any of these pieces together, or you don't seal any of this together until we've got our plants sitting in, they're fixed inside the planters, but more on that as we get to that. Now, I'm going to just do one other thing, and I did have them cut here and I cannot find them. So I'm going to quickly go off and cut these back pieces, these additional card pieces. So just bear with me whilst I do that. Okay, I'm back with these additional pieces of card that I mentioned. The A and the B piece, and as I said, they will sit behind here like this. Okay, all right. Now, if everyone's got a shot of that, I'm also going to draw your attention to what I've done with the Designer Series paper, and I've cut that in advance as well. I'm just looking, I've got a little bit of a ragged edge here. Obviously my trimmer needs replacing. And one of the things, I will show you this just while I have you here. With the trimmer, what I tend to do to get extra life out of my blade, I will make sure when I do the install that my blade goes into the trimmer. If I can get it out for you now, you will notice here there's a little indent here in the top of it, if you can see that. Now, when I insert a brand new blade, I always make sure that that is pointing down. And when I cut, I always, so let's just do this. I'll put it into that position now. Oops, here we go. So it's pointing down. That's when it goes in brand new. And I always cut going up. I never cut coming down, or I try not to. The reason I do the cut up is because it helps to push the paper, I think, and keep it flush with the edge of the trimmer. So when I'm doing my cuts, I always push up. As I notice bits of raggedy end on my cuts, if you like, then what I do, it's time to renew or to refresh the blade. I take it out and then I turn it around. And now I know when that is pointing up, that little V, I know that I'm at the ends of the life of the blade, and I will always cut up with on that side of the cutter. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's what I do with mine, and I find that I get twice as much life out of the blades as I used to before. Okay, that said, let's keep moving on. Now, what I've done in advance is I've cut all of the Designer Series paper that we're going to use for this project, and I've cut it to shape to keep us progressing. Now, so this is going to be the front of the card, if you like, and every piece of Designer Series paper is now ready. I've got the I've cut this cutout using the various pieces of paper, and I've also got my sentiment holder, which is here, ready to go. So this is what you're going to see throughout the event. All right, and for some embellishments, I've cut out this. There's another piece of gorgeousness from one of those die cuts, and I've also got our flowers and all that ready to go. So the reason I'm telling you that is when I'm doing these videos, I have to be pretty organized. Otherwise, when there's a lot of pieces like there is on this card, I'll just be all over the shop. So, but also in telling you that, these measurements, what I found very helpful, when you've got nice, even sizes, when you're doing the inserts of cardstock, for example, I know to get that nice even border all the way around. So for example, if this space here is 10 by 10, I know that the next piece of DSP, if I want to have a border, I'm going to remove 0.5 centimetre from that measurement. So this piece of designer series paper is not 10 by 10, obviously. It is 9.5 by 9.5. And this one is 9 by 9. And so therefore I get this nice even border. Just sharing that with you because that was a bit of a revelation to me when I started crafting. Well, it didn't come to me until well into my crafting time. And I've been crafting now, 18 months, so I wish I had have learned it sooner. But that gives you, that little tip gives you a nice, easy way to cut your DSP so that you've got the right sizes, or an easy reference cut for the right sizes. Okay. Something that the trickiest part to this card is this part. It's not the planter, actually. It's just making sure you get this designer series paper and this hole cut so that everything is lined up. How do I know it's the most difficult part? Because I had a few tantrums making this card, let me tell you. And I just felt like I was wasting too much of this designer series paper by not having a very clever technique to cut all of these things in unison, if you like. So I'll show you what I've done there to minimize that. That required me to glue these pieces here onto this before I made my cut. And now that I've said that, I have one small concern. No, it's good. It's good. Because what we want is, I'm just leaving that there, what you want is to make sure that there's enough coverage around this piece when you make your cut, that you're not too big and you're cutting over like that. Okay, so God is on our side. She has seen that I've got the right size, so that's good. Okay, so let's get started, and I'm going to apply the designer series paper to this now because that will be the first cut we make. And once we've got that on, it all will start falling into place. And here we go. All right, so let's just apply this in a format that is square. Great. And then this one. And if you've not seen this paper, it is truly gorgeous. I will say this gold sheet that my first layer here is not part of the set. I had to go and purchase that separately. However, it is a marriage made in heaven. Now, what I want to do, once that's had a chance to dry off a bit more, I want to go and cut using the die cut. That's this die cut from the Poetic Expressions set. I want to cut through those pieces so that when I line this up, that will fit there. Okay, like so. So making sure that that and this have enough room to glide past one another, and that's good. Okay, I'll take this one up just a little bit higher. Now, because that's going to be cut off, I'm just going to secure that into position with just a little bit of tape. Now, it's a little bit of washi tape. I'll just put that there. Okay, and that will go down there. All right. Okay, I'll just take this over to the trimmer, over to the press cut, and I'll be straight back. Now, we may need to run this through a couple of times because it is, yes, see, the expectation is it will go right through. But let's give it one more go and see if we can't punch through that. Now, all is not lost if it doesn't go through. Yes, it's done. So let's just peel away this tape. There we go. Gently peeling away to reveal the negative. Now, there we go. Gently does it. Gently. There we go. Ah, beautiful. All right. Now, certainly do not throw this away because this has 101 uses available to it as well. Okay, that is successfully removed. And what's going to happen is you're then going to place, so this is additional card B, 10 by 10. That is going to go into or onto the back of that. Now, the need for sharp dies is demonstrated. Need for sharp cutting blades is demonstrated here because you do not want to have that. Right, and that's why you probably also need to wait that little bit longer to make sure that that is permanently dry. So let's adhere that to that first and get that out of the road. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my dimensionals, the small ones around here. I use a lot of dimensionals because in my world, I love height and texture on my cards. And I know some people struggle with that simply because of the additional cost. But for cards, really special cards, I find I'd rather have a very special card, even if it does cost a bit extra to post it. There we go. Now you can use the larger dimensionals, and look, I would probably use the black dimensionals in this example or in this card because of the dark paper. However, for the purpose of the exercise, the white will be fine. Now, I should tell you this paper is the Pebble Path. It's from the new 23-25 color range, and Pebble Path is fast becoming my new crumb cake. Crumb cake is the brown. I use it on everything, and Pebble Path is becoming the new crumb cake, if that makes sense. And let me just, and these things, the backings of these dimensionals, the scourge of my life. When you're OCD and you like things to be neat, clean and neat, and you find these little things standing up in the middle of the hallway looking at you, it creates a sense of excitement in one. Okay, so here's our backing board. It's 10 by 10. You just need to line that up so that it fits without overhang. And it just always makes me nervous, this part. Can I get this here like that? Nope. Oh dear. So there is an element of patience required in the crafting world, and multiple attempts. Oh, voila, fantastic, Michael. Great. Okay, so now we've got our little, that, as I said, for me was the most difficult thing when I started the design on this card. Now what we need to do, this is going to be the piece that sits on the front here. We just need to, when we get to this stage, make sure we adhere that like so, so that we've got this format. But let's get the other pieces into place. So now, when you've got scraggy ends like that, grab your bone folder and press them down. You will find it does hide. And when you're cutting card, you will notice there's always the blunt side and the right side. The blunt side is where the blade goes in. If you want to smooth those out, because for whatever reason you're not using that side, bone folder, run it across, and you will never be able to tell the blunt side from the right side. Okay, like so, and it's all nice and smooth. And you will notice also, when you die cut anything, it's the same thing. You will have the right side and you'll have the blunt side. I'm surprised how many people use the blunt side on their cards. Now, in this case, you can obviously tell the right side from the blunt side. But when it's just a nondescript sort of, see, as an example like this, I call this the right side, I call that the blunt side. I see a lot of people putting the blunt side on their card, and I just want to reach through the screen and turn the piece over. Anyway, that's just my bugbear. All right, now that we've tidied that up, let's get this into place. And that will go there, like so. There we go. And this will go there. Okay. And like that. I'll show you another piece that I did while I'm just waiting for that to dry. I created this card. Now, this is not my design. This design belongs to a fellow Stampin' Up colleague, Maria Jose Vargas Mensch, based in the States. She is an extraordinary card crafter, and so it's her inspiration that led me to make this card for my very dear friend who's turning 90 this weekend. But this is the paper that we're using today. I've just created a belly band to put on it, and but that's just to give you a bit of an idea of how beautiful this paper is when used, and we're using it again today. But straight away, look, it's just stunning. All right, so, and I think, as Maria said, when you've got such beautiful things, don't save them for a rainy day or save them for a special day. Just use them, because today is the day. And we all hear stories of where people have saved things and they've never gotten around to using them for whatever reason. And look, I used to collect designer series paper for the winter apocalypse, which has not arrived as yet, and so now I've got reams of DSP that I may not get around to using, simply because there's reams of more gorgeous DSP coming onto the market. I can't keep up. Anyway, the life of a crafter, huh? Make sure that you've got the text, if you use this DSP, running in the same direction. Okay. We're well on the way. And as you can see, it doesn't take very long to get all of the pieces. If you've got all the pieces pre-cut, it won't take long for you to assemble the card. Now, I've used the reverse side of that because I want a bit of variety in the color, and that's going to come over to here. Okay, so let's get that onto there. And it's not a difficult card to make at all once you get your pieces all cut. And I'm just going to load that onto there. Now, I'm giving that some extra support by cutting and attaching it to the Pebble Path DSP, because the DSP alone is not strong enough to stand the test of time and movement like this. All right, so now it's taking shape, yes? Right, so I know that I only need to glue up until that line. That's that line there on this side. So let's turn that over. There it is. And I'm gluing this part. Okay. Lining it up again. Ooh. Lining it up again. There it is. It's in place and it's locked and loaded. There we go. Okay, we've got that. Okay, and that's the mechanism there. Now, where did I put this one? So, the jury's still out as to what I'm going to do here. I do have, and I can't seem to find it just at the moment. Oh, here it is. I don't know whether to keep it like that or so. And, you know, as you look at this, I mean, we all cry that we don't have enough ideas for masculine cards. Well, I don't think you're going to get much more masculine than this. And in saying that, it doesn't even need to be it still can be. Look, it's a unisex card, in my opinion. Look, I'm just going to leave that sit idle for a moment. Now, this was my thinking in the design on this, so sit tight. What I did, if I look at this card here, I like it. Could be a very good Valentine's card, actually, because here's one little bird. You open it up, and obviously he's found a mate. Happy Valentine's. All right, nice spring card. so it's a bit of a juxtaposition of the first image, if you like. So taking that idea forward, I thought it's quite a dark, heavy card because of the design of the paper. So if I take something that's dark, I'd like to make it look light, or what is the transformation? And so we go from dark to light. And this is what I was thinking here, that what I put in here could very well be the converse of the dark space that I'm seeing here, or the rebirth of something. And if I can get this to work, I thought I'll cut out some of these, or die cut some of the other images from the designer series paper, and this could be my antithesis, if you like. So the dark to the light. And then what I was going to do with my planter boxes was have them filled with white flowers, and they could have been the white and gold flowers. They could be these ones, if you like. Anyway, these are the things that are going on in my head at the moment, so I'm not sure, but we will progress. And I think I'm confident in saying that this is going to be my my starting point. And what I did from the designer series paper, I cut. Can I just find you a piece? Allow me to have a look. No, it's not that one. I'll show you what it looks like in its original format. All right. Just bear with me a moment. Here it is. Okay, so this is what the paper looks like. I've taken die cut this shape from the paper, and I've colored it to give me that dark, less white look about it. Let me just move these papers out of the road now that I've taken them out of the bag, because it's all going to go everywhere. Okay, so that's my thinking with the light and the dark, and I'm going to go with that before I change my mind. Now, but to do that, I need to cut another piece of cardstock to make this fit. So let me just go and do that. But whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to glue this here onto the front. Now this is the additional piece. This is the 10x7 piece. Now I don't need to put it on. I'm just going to plug my power into my phone, because it's just telling me that we're running out of power. Okay, hopefully that doesn't dangle over the screen. We don't need to put it on with dimensionals. It can just go on like that for added strength. So let me just put that on there now. Well, I've got that there, the right side and the blunt side. And here I am gluing up the blunt side. Okay. There we go. Nicely in position. No, it's not. It's not nicely in position at all. Just need to move that. Okay, there we go. Now, when you've got cardstock that you do need to just fiddle with just ever so slightly, get yourself a slow a glue that you can that allows you to a bit of free movement. And I use the I use this one, the one from Stampin' Up, the liquid glue with a fine tip pen. when I apply this, I find I've got more wriggle time with the cardstock as opposed to when I use this one. This one is faster for me than the other liquid one. Anyway, just a tip. So I need to get a yes, I need to get some backing cut for that, but let me come back to that. What I'll do is I'll keep moving with the planter boxes, because I think this is what's generated quite a bit of interest with our viewers. Now let me grab all of the elements that I need for that. All right, and let me just get rid of these little things for us. All right. Now, as I said, our planter boxes, giving you context, will go in here. All right, it's a simple mechanism, and it's one I'm sure you'll use a number of times. If you see on my Instagram page at Michael's Card Art, you will see those planter boxes in action. Now, what we've got to do is decide what you're going to place in the planters. That's the important thing, because they need to really go into place before you assemble your boxes. And the reason I've gone a little bit quiet is because I've just thought of another idea that I'm going to use for flowers. Just bear with me a moment and I'll show you what that other idea might look like. Here we go. As crafters, we collect things like bowerbirds, and they're not always from one company. And here's a little item that I found online that is from another company, but I find it invaluable. And what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to cut out the flowers from here. Bear with me a moment, I'll be right back. Now, I've cut these out. And they make a perfect floral arrangement for our planter boxes. Stampin' Up! Sets that you can also use, and I've used very successfully. I'll show you those in a moment, because for those of you who are oops, just bear with me. Okay, for those of you who do have a very big collection of SU products, these stamp and die kits I use a lot as well for little plants. I'll just grab those. It's this one here, and this one here. Honeybee Home, fabulous set for little plants, for your collection. Die cuts, these 4 in particular, I use these a lot for plants, and this one is also fabulous as well. And I've got these ones, and this is from Dainty Delights, this set here. So if you've got those in your stash, never get rid of them. You will always find a use for those. I use this a lot, this one a lot, this, always. Those 2 stamp sets have a permanent place here in Melbourne with me. Okay, now let's remove these, and this is the fiddly part. Some find this cathartic. punching out little pieces of cardboard from the bigger picture. I can't say I find it cathartic, because I'd just rather be doing other things, if you get my point. Okay, and I did buy one of the Stampin' Up thingos that you roll over these things, and I find this just as effective. Okay, removing that. Now, keeping in the same vein as the just grab what colours are on this paper. I'm just going to have a look at the kit now that it's all unpacked. We've got Pebble Path, Pecan Pie, and Gold. Okay. Pebble Path, Pecan Pie, and Gold. Okay. And we know the gold. All right, I think what I'm going to do is this. We've also got white in the paper as well. I'm going to do this. Using some Versamark. Not that I probably need a embossing buddy, but what I am going to do is this. Right, I'm going to go and grab another stamp set, because there is a stamp that I want from that, and it's the Grassy Grove one, and here it is. And I want there it is, Grassy Grove, and I want this tree from, here we go. Oh, here it is. Now, look at this poor thing. How well used is that? Oh, it looks like I feel some mornings. Now, I'm going to do this. With my Versamark, I love the texture of these things. So let me just do this. And all will be revealed shortly. I'm just dipping it in the Versamark and leaving some striations or styrations. I don't know what it's called, that word, but I don't want to colour the whole thing in gold embossing powder. I just want some of the things marked, and I think that'll go very nicely with, yes, I think that's good. Okay, can you see where this mind is going? All right, just grab my heat gun. Oops. Sorry, had to be subjected to that noise, but I don't know how to mute it on the video. So, oh well, no pain, no gain, they say. All right, so now what we need to do is attach these to here. Now, this is why I said do not assemble your boxes or your planter boxes until you've got this formed. And I think this will go very nicely with the DSP, this gold, white, It's new life. It's working for me, and at the moment, that's important. Yes, and we're going to get enough of these plants out of here that we can create a gorgeously full planter. Okay, I'm excited. And you can see why I use this a lot for such little projects, because it's just a nice combination of sorry, I'm reaching over here. That's a nice combination of markings. Let's get that away. And all right, now I'm going to need to take a break shortly because I have to go off. I look after clients, elderly clients in their home as a personal care assistant. I do that part-time, and I only started doing that. I retired when I was in my mid-50s and thought, I'm going to go and travel the world again. Well, COVID put paid to that. And one day I was 6 months into our very vicious lockdowns that we had here in Victoria, in Melbourne, Victoria. I was sitting there wondering, what am I going to do with myself for the rest of my life now that travel's off the agenda? And I saw this ad for personal care assistants. No experience required. And I looked at my busy schedule, which had absolutely nothing on, and had nothing on for the next however long our lockdown was going to be. And I thought, being a personal care assistant has got to be a lot better than sitting at home waiting and spending my well hard-earned super on online rubbish. Not that I'd call craft materials from Stampin' Up rubbish at all. I think that's where most of my superannuation has gone, actually. That and the second mortgage. Right. No, fortunately I don't have a mortgage anymore. Okay, so I'm just cutting these out and looking at what is going to be effective. Something's happened to this one, but I'll use that. There we go, that's a nice piece. All right. So anyways, the reason I told you that story is because I do need to rush off to see my first client this morning. And but I will resume this video once. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, that's very suitable. That's what I should have said. Okay. And there we go. All right. Okay, so we've got our plant is filled, hence you can see a little bit now on the height. Now I'm going to do one more thing. The back of the planter could also do with some paper, some plants, just to make it even fuller. So let me do, okay, I'm going to use either one of these. And because it's at the back, it doesn't really matter, and that's perfect. All right, I'll just put this one on here. And that will go there. All right. And I've made a mistake. That can't go there. I'm sorry, and you'll see why I mean that in a moment. It has to go here on this one. Okay, there we go. All right. Let me explain why it couldn't go there and it must go here is because you need this open section to be the point that glues into that back corner, like so. And we may need to lose this little stem here just for that purpose. More on that as we get to that stage. So let's let those dry. Our little garden planter pieces. Oh, there is one more thing that we need to do, and we'll leave it dry, and it's this. I told you the planter is 2.5 by 13.7. That's this one here. And remember I said we want to put that on the front. Oh, even though that is from another series of paper. I wonder. Oh, actually, why do this? Is it too much gold? No, I need this one. I need a sheet of this paper on my box. Okay, what I'm going to do is I will do that in my break, and I will come back to you as soon as I've got that sorted, and we will complete the assembly of our card. All right, look forward to that. Thank you very much for your time so far, and I'll be back shortly. Now I've taken the liberty just to put the little planted box dividers in. Now what I did was I cut those flowers and I glued them onto the various planters, and with the folds what I've done is just adhered the dividers into one side of the box, and you can see they need to be adhered. Apologies for that noise in the background. That's our gardener working through the estate with his air blower, the bane of my life. Anyway, that's what the box will look like, and what I'll do now is just apply some glue and adhere these pieces to the other side. And this is why I say do not assemble the planter box until you've got your plants in there on the dividers. So this is just a little bit fiddly, but not unachievable. So let's do this in a way that's going to be effective. Here we go. So let's get the first, actually let's get them untangled first. Okay, so we've got our first one in, or not. Okay, let's push these into position. There's one. Now, I'm just going to give you a piece of advice which I've just realized is a mistake on my behalf. And it's not a showstopper, but I will just say that this divider what I should have done was I should have put this divider in, if you can see what I'm saying. I should have turned it around see if it's not too late to do that. Yes, it will be too late because I've got the plants already in there. So anyway, this divider, I should have turned it around so that it faces the other way, so that those bent ends are facing towards there. Anyway, just to give it a bit more distance away from the actual planter box. But look, it's not a showstopper, and it's okay. So give it some time to dry, and I'm just going to get some paper clips out to assist us. There's one in there to hold that one. There we go. And I'll put another one to hold this one. There we go. Now leave those to dry like so. And maybe I can just move this one just a fraction over. But anyway, that's good. That's good. You look at that, there's mass planting, and that's really what we're wanting there. Okay, leave that to dry. What I might do is just give that a small paper clip, which means I've got some wriggle room here. There we go. And I'm going to attach that one to there. I missed it. The patience of Job sometimes. There we go. That's good. Okay. All right, there we go, like that. Leave that to dry, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've done a bit of a tidy up, and just making sure that we've got everything in place. Our little planter box is all set and ready to go. It's all nicely. So what we're going to do now is you just need to fiddle a little bit before you do the final gluing, just to make sure that none of the plants get twisted or caught when you do the closure. So it's an act of kind love, or hard love. Just push that down like that, and you can see that it goes there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is put the glue in. All right, where is the glue? Here. Okay, so we're only needing to glue. Oh, just before I do that, I'll show you. There's two ways that you can position the box. You can, as we're gluing, this is open here, so you would not put your box in like that if that was the position. I'll just quickly show you what I mean here. And this is what I mean about making sure that you don't tangle your flowers. Okay. All right. It's either, do you want your box to be seen from this angle, or do you want it to be seen from this angle? Now, in the previous one, just bringing that back, I did it so that you see the flowers more on that focus in there. However, with this one, I'm going to do it so that the focus of the flowers will be underneath. So I'm going to glue here and here. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's get that started. Oops. All right. So just apply some glue. A good sturdy amount without it oozing everywhere. That's the last thing you want. Okay. Now, the other thing to also make sure is your sentiment that you're going to use to hide such an artifact. you need to do a bit of a line up there. And so I think this is a good spot. And so I'm going to just go with that in that position there. And that looks pretty good. Just give that a few moments just to settle down and dry. Keeping that there. Okay, it may seem a little tight to start with, but don't be too perturbed. And you may need to go in, like I will need to, and just reconfigure those flower planters back into their position. But that's just half the course. Let's get some paper clips in to assist with the securing of the said item. And there we go there. All right. That should hold that firm for a bit. Okay, so it should look like that. All right. Okay, so we can proceed with the other elements. Now, what I said was I would need to put some backing on that piece of DSP because it won't be strong enough to support itself. And I'm going to put, I don't know whether that's too much there, but I'm going to put, I was thinking to put that like that, and this would go here, like such, providing there's still room to put our sentiment there. Yes, I'm going to use that this gorgeous piece of foliage here, and I'm probably only going to use that amount. Let me just see that again. Yes, I'm only going to use this amount here. It will sit there like that, and this will sit here like that. Great. Okay, so let me just attach this. I'll put some glue over here. And that can go like that. It's a really, really lush, rich card, made lush and rich by this gorgeous DSP. Okay, just there like that. Now there's a little bit of overhang, but look, I don't mind that. It adds to the nature of the card. That sits under there like that. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to go with the plain white or whether I add some I'm going to do a little experiment here. I think it needs a change of colour, and I could probably do that, but I need to stamp the sentiment. And okay, I'm just going to cut this. Did I not cut one already? Yes, I did. Here it is. Okay, I want to stamp a birthday sentiment on this. And I'm going to have to do it in a colour that will work. That's what I'll do. I'm going to do early espresso. And just before I glue that, I'm going to stamp it. So let's bring this over here. Right, I'm going to need my stamping buddy for what I'm about to try. Let's just put this over here for a bit. Where did that sit? So the sentiment has to go. You can see I've got a sentiment that's a little. Okay, so that will have to go there. Okay. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to use early espresso, and then I'm going to clear emboss it. My sentiment doesn't have too much stick left, and if anybody can tell me how to reinvigorate the stick on the back of sentiments, please let me know. Right, okay. So let's do this with the, right, let's get that in place. That's square. I just need embossing buddy. I'm going to stamp with early espresso. Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, just one more stamp. How's that? Did I just get a halo there? Oh dear, oh dear. We can fix that. Now a little bit of Versamark. I'm just going to take that halo off. And the Versamark goes on. And you know what? That slight bit of movement there has created a slight change or a slight misalignment of the wording. But you know what? It's going to add to the drama. And I like it very much. So let's make that clear. Yes, look at that. See, that's, oh, sorry about that. I've just bumped my power cord. I'm just going to remove the power cord actually. As I reach for the heat tool, excuse the noise. That's good. I think, let me just check something. No, I've got it all. Okay, that's good. You can see a slight shine. Okay, say goodbye to that and that. I don't mind that. Slightly off center, but it works well. Yes, I like that. So, let's get some glue onto this. Onto this. And there we go. And then this will go to here. Ah, I've put too much glue on there. I only put enough glue that it's face to attach to under the card. And really that there is being put in place to really hide the planter box that sits underneath it, so that you've got that element of surprise when you open it up. Like so. Now, I'm going to suggest, the question will be raised, where do you write your sentiment? You can write your sentiment on the back of the card. Or not your sentiment, your message on the back of the card. These things are holding. I'm just going to need to put a bit of glue, extra glue on there. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a glue dot. As I've got these out, I'll just need to change over my, and see here we've got a bit of excess glue just sneaking through there. So that will have to come off. And a little tip, you know, sometimes when you get those glue shines, you can get rid of them with a little bit of embossing buddy. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to put this glue dot on there, and having said that you can get rid of them, look what I've created. Right, I'll fix that. I'm not sure how yet, so just be careful you don't put too much extra glue there. All right, I'm just going to remove these, and I'm going to put the glue dot in just to hold that section. In here on the planter. So the one that's come adrift is that one. So just put the glue dot where I want this to be, and it's about there, and bring that into place. That's now there, and that one needs one also. And there we go. That one can go just there as well. There we go. So that's in place. Voila. Not quite complete, because now what we need to do is insert the last couple of elements. And remember what I was saying about I was wanting to go with a white gold, or the converse of what's on the main screen. I'm going to go with these items here. And I'm just going to glue those in here. Now, you could also, because there's some really nice foliage that's available, I'm just thinking what you might also do to take advantage of some of that foliage. Is we could put a little bit of foliage that sort of like hangs from there into there. So I'm going to quickly do that. And it will still be hidden there. Okay, so let's get those glued in. And do I want them sitting up on? I do. I want them sitting up on, what do you call them? Dimensionals. And here they are here. I just want to have a bit of height on those. So let me just do this. One there, and possibly one here. Okay. Okay. So one will go there. And oh, here it is. And one can go here. What else have I got here that I could use? I might go with this. Bring some putty down. And here we go. Okay. Okay, just tuck that in there, behind like so. All right. Actually, I'm going to I'm going to reposition these. I'm sorry. I don't like those ones there. And this won't impact on the finished product. I'm going to go with my original thought and use this one. And now I would recommend you putting some backing board on the backs of these, just to give them some weight, because it is very, very thin. There we go, there's one there, and this one can go back in there. There, that's a better view. All right, I like that better. Okay, and there we go. Let me clear the decks and show you what it looks like. Yeah, it's finished product. I think it's a very, very nice, elegant card. And if you wanted to, you could create a belly band for that. I don't know that it needs it, but I am going to recommend just a couple of embellishments. And if I can remember where these are, that's these ones. Let's just see. I haven't kept up with purchasing all the embellishments that we can. Oh, this is perfect. Now I'm just. There was that slight. This one might just be perfect. There we go. I'm going to just put that there. One. They're not the easiest to get off the sheet. 1, 2, and I'm going to go with 3. There we go, 3 embellishments. Okay, card is done. All right. I hope that is something that you've enjoyed watching. I certainly hope you've learned something, and most importantly, I certainly hope I get to see you again at the next completed project on Michael's card art. Thank you very much.